The EU just made cybersecurity a board-level responsibility, and if you get it wrong, executives can be personally banned from running the company. That's not an exaggeration. That's the NIS2 Directive, the most significant cybersecurity regulation Europe has ever passed. It affects over 160,000 organizations across 18 sectors, and it doesn't just apply to EU companies. If you do business in Europe, you need to understand this. Let's break it down. We're going to cover what NIS2 is and who it applies to, the key compliance requirements you need to meet, the penalties for getting it wrong, including the personal liability piece, and what this means if you're outside the EU. This is essential knowledge for anyone in cybersecurity, compliance, or business leadership. Let's get into it. NIS2 stands for the Network and Information Security Directive 2. It's an EU law that sets cybersecurity standards for critical infrastructure and essential services. Who's covered? Energy, transport, banking, healthcare, water, digital infrastructure. Those are the obvious ones. But also food production, chemicals, manufacturing, postal services, waste management, and critically, IT service providers and managed security providers. That last one matters. If you're an IT vendor serving businesses in these sectors, you're now directly regulated too. Now let's talk about what NIS2 actually requires. Article 21 of the directive lists 10 mandatory cybersecurity measures. We'll hit the highlights: risk management and security policies. You need documented policies covering how you identify, assess, and manage cybersecurity risks. This isn't optional, it's the foundation. Incident handling, you need clear procedures for detecting, responding to, and recovering from security incidents. And here's where NIS2 gets aggressive. You must report significant incidents to authorities within 24 hours. Not 72 hours like GDPR, 24 hours. Then a detailed report within 72 hours and a final report within 1 month. Business continuity, backup systems, disaster recovery plans, and crisis management capabilities. Can your business keep running if you get hit? Supply chain security. This is new and important. You're required to assess cybersecurity risks from your vendors and include security requirements in supplier contracts. Your third-party risk is now your problem by law. Employee training. All staff need basic cybersecurity hygiene training. And management, we'll come back to this, needs specific cybersecurity training too. There are more requirements around encryption, access control, and vulnerability management, but these are the ones most organizations need to focus on first. Here's where NIS2 really gets your attention: the penalties. NIS2 divides organizations into two categories. Essential entities, large organizations in the most critical sectors, face fines up to $10 million or 2% of global annual turnover, whichever is higher. Important entities, medium-sized organizations or those in slightly less critical sectors, face fines up to $7 million or 1.4% of global turnover. That's comparable to GDPR-level penalties. But here's what makes NIS2 different: personal liability for executives. Under NIS2, management bodies must personally approve cybersecurity measures and oversee their implementation. If there's gross negligence following a cyber incident, executives can be held personally liable. And for essential entities, it goes further. Authorities can request court orders to temporarily ban individuals from management positions, CEO level, until the organization fixes its compliance failures. This is a fundamental shift. Cybersecurity is no longer just an IT problem. It's a board-level fiduciary duty with personal consequences. If you're watching from outside Europe, you might be thinking, this doesn't apply to me. Not so fast. NIS2 has extraterritorial reach, similar to GDPR. If your company provides services to EU customers and you meet the sector and size thresholds, NIS2 likely applies to you. That includes cloud providers, managed service providers, SaaS companies, anyone providing digital infrastructure or services to EU markets. Non-EU companies in scope must appoint an EU representative in a member state where they offer services. That representative's location determines which country's regulator oversees you. Even if you're not directly in scope, you may still feel the effects. NIS2's supply chain requirements mean your EU customers will start demanding proof of your cybersecurity practices before doing business with you. Quick status update. NIS2 officially came into force in January 2023, with member states required to implement it by October 2024. Most countries missed that deadline. The European Commission has opened enforcement proceedings against 23 member states for delays. but enforcement infrastructure is being built throughout 2025 and 26. The bottom line, even if your country is behind on implementation, the directive is in force. Organizations that wait to act are taking a risk. Here's what you need to take away. NIS2 is the real deal. 18 sectors, 160,000 plus organizations, GDPR-level fines, and personal liability for executives. If you're in scope, the time to act is now. Assess your gaps against those 10 requirements. Get your incident response ready for the 24-hour timeline. Make sure your board understands their personal accountability. At CompliQuest, we've built a complete NIS2 training course that covers everything we discussed today, plus detailed walkthroughs of each requirement, implementation checklists, and board-level training modules. It's designed to get your team compliant and keep them that way. Check the link in the description. If this was helpful, subscribe. We break down complex compliance topics. No jargon, just what you need to know.